What it do? It's your boy, the Big Head Dude, and I'm back. Man, they say consistency is the key to this game, so I'm trying to keep it consistent, bringing you guys the content, the stories, the trials and tribulations, and the message of hope. As always, if you're watching the videos, if you're checking out my content, I appreciate the love and the support. Like I mentioned in the last few interviews, my numbers are going up. It's small time numbers, but to me it's big. If you subscribe to the channel, I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. That way when I upload, you get notified. Like the videos, comment on the videos, and share. As always, man, I appreciate you guys. I'm always excited about the interviews and the conversations I get to have with people. This interview isn't different. So yeah, let's get to it. Who am I speaking with today, sir?
I'm Cory.
Cory.
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
I am 40 years old.
And where are you from?
I was born in Maryland, lived in California, and then moved to Tucson as a kid. So Tucson, I guess you could say.
You grew up out here?
Yeah, starting in when I was like 9. Yeah, my parents were in the Navy, so then when my dad got out of the Navy, we moved there.
Did you move around a lot as a kid?
No, not really. We were so when I was born in Maryland, like my brother was born in Scotland. Like my parents moved a lot before that. They met in Guam. So when I was born in Maryland, I lived there till I was like 5. And then we moved to California for a few years and then came out here. My mom got out of the Navy like a year after I was born, I think.
What was it like having parents who were in the service?
Honestly, I didn't know too. I mean, we didn't live on base in California. I know both my parents picked up a heroin habit in the Navy. But by the time we moved out here, I know in California they had stopped. My dad was still drinking until I was like 12 or 13 though. And my mom still drinks today. But
So your parents battled with addiction as well?
yeah, my dad just eats edibles now. He has cancer, but my mom still drinks and does Xanax.
And what was childhood like for you?
It was ups and downs a lot. Like I was very creative. I did musical theater. I played sports. Home life was alright. Like my parents had love, but my dad was always because of his drinking, he was always very, almost, I guess, like moody or unstable. Like my parents would fight a lot behind closed doors, but like mostly about how we were treated. Like, because my dad would hit us, like pretty aggressively sometimes. Give us the buckle and the belt and shit, and like. But like one of the reasons he kind of soaked up was when I was 10 or 11. I like for some reason I don't know. I never thought about it, but like I spent like a month like trying to get out of school, like making myself throw up and shit. And so my grades were really bad that semester. And he came home and I was always a kid that would just talk shit to like adults, and that included my parents. Like I just didn't fear them. And he was getting madder and madder, and he picked me up, like carried me to my room and threw me against the wall. And fucking, I went through the fucking wall and got knocked out. And like, he didn't quit drinking right away, but he started going to meetings and shit and slowed down. Like, but then later, after that, my mom started, like, it wasn't because of that, but my mom started developing depression real bad. Like, she got a hysterectomy and went through like early menopause in her early 30s. And then her mom died, and like that kind of sent her in a spiral of like locking herself in her room a lot. Like I remember one Thanksgiving, or it was around Thanksgiving, she spent like 2 weeks just locked in her room. And then she was like afraid to like let us go out of the house. So like for any kind of infraction, I'd get grounded for like months, couple months at a time. And I say any infraction, but like I started fucking up like prior around like middle school, like smoking weed, drinking. And getting caught for these activities, but I always did well in school, so I never thought it was an issue. But like, I mean, clearly it was. I got arrested when I was 14 with a fake ID, which I'm surprised Quick Mart would even sell it to me, but they did.
Why were you trying to get out of school? Why were you throwing up on purpose?
I don't really know. Like, I liked school. I was good in school. Like, I think it's just a question of, like, I've always had a problem with, like, feeling like I don't fit in. And social anxiety, even as a young child, like, I don't know, like, I had friends and shit, but, like, I never liked them. You know what I mean? Like, in school, you're forced to have friends, you know? Like, and so I picked a group of friends that, like, were whatever to me. Like, I kind of still have that problem a lot nowadays, like, just kind of being whatever with people. I don't know. I didn't really like my teacher, but there was nothing, like, particularly wrong with her now that I think about it. Like, I was just always trying to, because, like, I didn't need to go to school. Like, I always did well whether or not I was present for the material to be presented, you know? Like, I always did well on tests. I could always study myself. If you just told me what to look up, I'll look it up and I'll do perfectly fine, because school's just memorization and facts. Like, it's not actually, like, a sign of intelligence, I feel like.
What was the relationship like with your siblings?
I have one brother who is 2 years older than me. We did not get along. We were very violent with each other. Like, he hit me with a brick one time. I took a slingshot and stuck him with a screwdriver in his fucking shoulder one time. We did not get along until we both started smoking weed. Then that gave us something to bond over, you know? And that was really the one thing we had in common for many years until we both picked up heroin. And then that gave us something else to carry us through our 20s. But since our 30s, we haven't really had a relationship. Like, he got clean. I mean, he stopped doing heroin. He still smokes weed, but probably like 32, and we haven't really had a relationship since then.
Would you say, I mean, I know you shared some of your father's behaviors and whatnot, but would you say that your household as a child was abusive?
Once I started thinking about it, like, after I first went to rehab when I was in my early 20s, like, yeah. Like, I used to just think, you know, I was a fucking wild ass kid. I threw tantrums a lot. I'd cuss out my parents, cuss out my parents' friends, like. And part of me, like, just kind of thought, like, I don't know if it was normal or fucking it was just, I had it coming. But looking back on it now, yeah, it was abusive. Like, whether it was the physical abuse or, like, my mom was very distant, and she was very emotionally abusive, I guess. But, like, it's hard to speak bad of my parents, I mean, because they're solid-ass people. Like, you know, especially my dad, he recognized his problems, he worked hard, and he has nothing but love and support from me now. My mom is still, she's distant, but she has trouble handling things, you know. She has trouble handling the fact that her two sons were drug addicts. One's, you know, my brother's a little better. He's still very disconnected from his life, I feel like. But, you know, this is something I struggled with since my teen years, and I think she hates seeing it, dude, so she doesn't want to deal with it, you know?
Right. But your relationship with them is good today, it sounds like.
It's a lot better than it was, yeah. My dad's very supportive. He understands, you know, he's been there. My mom still, I mean, she's supportive in her own way. I still talk to her a lot. You know, I see her when she comes and visits, you know. But, yeah, she still has problems drinking, and that's just a trigger for me, you know. But, so it's kind of, I got to set boundaries there, I guess.
So fast forwarding a little bit, what else was school like for you, like in high school? What type of student, what type of teenager were you?
I was an excellent student. I was a very excellent student. I got 3.8 all through high school. School always came easy to me. The only reasons I ever didn't get A's was because of class participation. Because I would sleep through school or I wouldn't show up. By 15, I was using crystal meth pretty much every day.
So let's go there. How'd you get introduced to hard drugs as a child, basically?
So, I guess the catalyst in my life that kind of pushed me into really wanting to numb and get out of things was when I was 11. I was sexually assaulted by a family friend over the course of a weekend because my parents went out of town. My dad went on a business trip and my mom went with him. And I mean, I started drinking and smoking weed at 12. And middle school was just rough for me, man. Like, I was very isolated. I was always like a cynical kid. Didn't get along with kids unless I forced myself to. Like, and so middle school, I just fucking isolated like crazy. And so, like, my brother's already smoking weed by then. So I started smoking weed with him, getting weed from him. Any money I got, I get from him. Drinking, I would just raid my parents' liquor cabinet, friends' parents' liquor cabinets. Like, I was always just a sneak, stealing and shit. Yeah, like, I pretty much, like, I first smoked weed when I was like 10, but like, after that, the habit just progressed, like, to smoking weed every day through middle school.
Just trying to numb and forget, or?
Numb and forget and make life more comfortable, man. Like, I felt like, I just felt like school, I fucking didn't like people. I was trying to find myself, and like, I feel like I got interrupted. Like, I didn't have an identity. I just was just kind of like, I don't want to say numb, or I guess dissociated from the world at that for a few years there. Like, when I was young, like, I still did well in school because it gave me something to do. I still play sports because my dad expected me to. So I had a full schedule, but like, I just wasn't present for it. Like, I was.
So, getting sexually assaulted at a young age, what was your demeanor? What was your attitude or outlook like?
Let's see. It fucked me up, like, in a lot of ways. Like, kind of carried through into my fucking. I feel like it jump-started my addiction, and then, like, feelings of shame and guilt from that. And, like, that shit kind of carried into my 20s and 30s up until this day, like, until I started talking to my therapist about it. Second time I came to rehab a few years ago.
Right.
It was just like, so, like, I always had this weird, like, relationship with sex in a way. Like, when I actually lost my virginity, I was 15. It was to, like, a 44-year-old woman that I met online. Because, like I said, I was grounded a lot. So I was on Yahoo Chat a lot. And then one night I was fucking stuck. Because, like, when I was grounded, stuck in my house, I could do what I wanted inside the house in my room. So, like, I would drink, smoke. Like, I was doing hallucinogens a lot then. Smoking G, like I said. So I was up all night on mushrooms, drinking, I think, a Mickey's. And this chick hit me up and shit, and I stole my brother's car and drove out there. It was like way the fuck across town. And like, I guess she like catfished me because it was not the picture that, like, you know what I mean? Like, and that shit was a weird, horrible experience. Like, I don't know, I just went ahead and did it and shit. Like,
did she know you were 15?
Oh yeah, there's no, like, yeah, I told her, like, I was in high school and shit still. I was young looking,
Yeah.
I looked 15, every bit of it. And it was crazy because her ex-husband dropped her kids off in the morning because she had them for the weekend. And she's like, oh, don't worry about it. And her kids immediately come knocking on the door. She starts screaming at her fucking kids through the door. Go to your fucking room. And I was like, this is too much, dude. This is just too much. I'm gonna leave. I was like, I don't want to see your kids, though. And she's like, oh, they'll be in the room. And so I go out, walk downstairs, go open the front door, and I look to my right, and there's two fucking kids there just staring at me. And there's a boy and a girl, and the boy had to have been like 11, 12 years old. You know what I mean? Like, God's just a couple years older.
Yeah.
It was just all bad. I started, like, coming down off the mushrooms on my drive back and shit, just throwing up out the window of my brother's car. And, like, and that just led to this, like, I don't know, like, I never really met, like, girls in school, but I always met them online after that. And I always just, like, just lie my ass off to them, like, talk to them, tell them I was a virgin, I was looking to lose my virginity and shit. I don't know how many times I even did that shit. Countless.
Was that like an addiction in itself?
Yeah, and that addiction carried through, like, to this day. Like, I have a big problem with, pornography or, like, dating websites. I have a big problem with, like, sleeping with people and then ghosting them right away, or, like, in my depths of my addiction, I would purposely meet people and fucking go over there and, fuck them and then steal from them. I'll just clarify. The only reason I say people is because I'm bisexual, right? And a lot of shame and guilt comes from that. Because fucking, I just don't like I don't like men's personalities for the most part. And like I like to joke around about like sex and shit, but I don't like when like locker room talk happens and people start talking specifically. It makes me uncomfortable. That on top of being like abused as a kid, like I feel like I was letting myself down, and like I carried a lot of guilt and shame from that shit. Like I felt like, I guess there's two things of it. Like yeah, I was letting myself down because like I didn't want to be, and that was something I hid until like a couple years ago, really. And then the next part of it was like,
you said you didn't want to be?
No.
You didn't want to be what?
Bisexual.
Okay.
And like I almost feel like it'd be easy because like I don't know, like I know it's not me and it's not my identity. But like I always feel like if like exes and shit, like if shit come, when I say it, like they always give me this look of like either they assume I'm gonna cheat on them, which to be fair, yeah, I usually did. Like, but I don't know. I have a big problem with relationships too. The other part of it was like I wish I could just like pick a side. Like for years I thought I was just oversexed, you know? Like I was just like over fucking sexed. Like especially when I was drinking, doing coke a lot in my 20s. Cause like I started doing heroin probably when I was like 20, got off of it when I went to rehab because I got 2 DUIs when I was 19 and 22. OD'd when I was 22, so I went to rehab at 22. And I got out. I was clean off of heroin for a while. Usually here and there, but mostly I just started drinking again, like, because I've always been a big drinker. So I was just drinking, doing a lot of coke. And I was in a relationship for like 7 years at that point, but like I was cheating on her constantly.
Did she know this?
She found it out later.
Right.
After we broke up, we were still fucking around. I started doing coke with her little sister, fucking around with her little sister. It was like, and we did that for a bit, and then I started fucking around with one of her friends, and her friend, I started dating, and I told her about, like, I was doing drugs and, like, everything about my relationship with this person, so she found out. Blocked me on all social media and shit.
So I guess it's safe to say being sexually assaulted at such a young age kind of fucked up your sexual being just as a person to this day, it sounds like, right?
Yeah, I still...
Is that politically correct?
Yeah, that's cool. I'm good with that, man. Yeah, I mean, I would say yeah. Like, I feel... I've always had problems with, like, becoming, like, not sex with a person, being intimate with a person, you know, being, like...
Gotcha.
Like, I'll have sex with anybody. I don't want to say anybody, but you know what I mean. But, like, if the cuddling and shit and, like, you know, someone, like, gives me little tickles on my back, I don't like it. Like, I don't like it. It sends little shocks up my body. Like, I just don't like it. I have to get very comfortable with a person until I can be able to do that level, like, of intimacy or, like, share with them or fucking just lay there with them. Like, I can't. It makes me antsy. Makes me nervous. Like, I just don't fucking like it. Like, and I think my behaviors are, just, I don't know, always looking for the next thing and shit, or like nothing's ever enough for me, you know?
So this has affected you even far outside of sex, just in interactions
with people in general, yeah. Like,
right.
Because I was always a nervous kid and shit, and like I grew up with a speech impediment, really bad. Which like theater helped me get over, but not until I was like probably like 16, 17.
Did you like theater?
I did. It let me get out of myself, you know. Let me be like just for a couple hours, fucking not be myself, dude. And like that's still a big problem for me, being comfortable with who I am, in my own skin. Fucking trying to be nice to myself is hard, dude. Not hating myself is hard. Like all that shit's fucking hard for me, dude. Like, and like I'm working on it like hard this time. Like I'm giving this shit a fair chance this time, but before it was all shit I just didn't want to fucking look at or fucking think about. Like I always thought drugs were the problem, and it's like, nah, man. Like I'm the fucking problem.
We got problems, big problems, even outside of drugs, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Like the drugs were like just a terrible solution for me. Like, it allowed me to interact with people. Like I felt, you know, I'm not, obviously not true, but like it allowed me to, in a way, like with theater, get outside of myself to the point where I'm not myself. You know, I can go out there and be confident. I can go out there and fucking, you know, run game. I can go out there fucking manipulate. I can go out there and like do what I have to do to get what I need. Like,
is part of life a theater for you now? Do you try to wear? Do you think you wear a character or whatnot?
So this time coming in, like I spent some time in jail again before I came into rehab, and like I think that helped me kind of like. A lot of reflection happened, I'll say, because like I just turned 40 and shit, and I'm getting arrested for shit I've been doing since my 20s. Like honestly, I'm just trying to take suggestions. So part of it's being, you know, honest, open-minded, and willing, and fucking. I don't think honesty's been not a huge problem for me. At least I would tell myself. I was like, well, my family knows I'm a drug addict. Everyone I know knows I'm a drug addict. Then I'm not lying. I'm living an honest life. But that wasn't true.
Right.
I mean, obviously, like, and I thought that was good enough, you know. Like I was comfortable just being like, I'm gonna be like this, justifying it with like, this is what I need to do to get through life.
Right.
This is what I need to do, or this is just how it's gonna be. Because every attempt to get sober has never worked out. But like, I mean, again, being honest with myself, like I never gave it a chance. Like I would always fucking cut out early, or fucking get out of a program or get out of jail and not do anything for my recovery, not do anything to fucking better myself. Like, cause I thought like I didn't think I could do it on my own. Like, but like, I guess I did. I guess I fucking did.
So rewinding a little bit, where were you getting drugs from at? Who would sell drugs to a kid?
Dude, 15-year-old?
Yeah.
Okay, so with musical theater and acting, I had an agent and shit, so I had money. Like, I would do commercials and shit around town. I would do, like, promotional videos for companies. I get paid to be in plays. So I had a stack of cash. I mean, if you got cash...
So this wasn't just no high school thing. You were, like, really getting paid
Yeah, I was getting paid for it, man. I had, like, a lot of money. Not a lot of money, but for a 15-year-old, I had a lot of money.
That's cool.
So, like, that's kind of why I could fly on the radar with it. That's why, like... Because I could pay for it, you know? I didn't have to do anything crazy when I was a teenager. And I worked a lot as a teenager, too, to get out of the house.
And drug dealers don't have morals?
No, for the most part, no.
They see the money, they're like, give it to me.
Yeah, and I had a couple friends whose older brothers sold, so I just get it from them, and like, they didn't give a shit.
So, your first time trying heroin, what was that like?
Well, so, with heroin, I got, I started doing Oxy 80s back in the day.
Okay, popping pills.
Yeah, when I was like probably 18, started in the 80s, and like, that shit was incredible. Like, I mean, the feeling was fucking incredible. Like, and they were cheap back then. They're like, when I started, they were $6 a pop. When I stopped, they were like $60 a pop.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot, and like, it was dangerous because I was still drinking a lot at the time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always had that, you know, drinking's always been my favorite drug. I'll say. Alcohol, you know, obviously, yeah. Alcohol's always been my favorite drug.
Right.
Because it's the drug that allows you to fucking get outside of yourself the most. It's like a dream world when you're drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing fucking makes sense. Everything's just wonky. I loved it. Heroin was a good like just knock you out type of thing. Like especially once I started shooting it. Like originally with the oxys, like it kind of like gave me like some social, like some confidence to be some more social because I always had a problem like interacting in groups of people. Like I'm good one-on-one, but like in groups of people I get petrified. Like I get fucking nervous. Like I think a lot of that comes down to like part of me is probably the genetic, but then another part was like when I was bullied a lot as a kid with my speech impairment by like large groups of people, you know. I was like captain of the football team, but here I am doing lean stretches and I'm getting made fun of for my, you know, because I can't say ankle, right? I go ankle, yeah. So like large groups have always fucking frightened me.
Yeah.
If I have to interact with them, especially if I don't know people. So like the oxys would give me that I don't give a fuck attitude, you know. Like I don't care what people think and shit, and like it gave me that. In a way that like alcohol could give you that, but like you're gonna be slurring, you're gonna be looking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Have you overdosed?
Twice.
Twice.
Yeah, when I was 22 and then again when I was 28. When I was 22, my roommate found me. When I was 28, my ex found me. That one was bad because I did speedball that night and I hadn't shot up coke in a while and shit. Like, I was walking up the stairs of our townhouse and I fucking just fell out at the top and fell down the stairs.
Had to go to the hospital?
Yeah. She had to call the ambulance and shit. Like, she heard me thunking down the stairs. And that was pretty much the end of our relationship because a few months before that, I was drunk and I started choking on my vomit in my sleep. And so she had to like clear my airways and shit. And so she saved me twice in the span of like 3-4 months.
Right.
So she was pretty done with it after that.
What kind of troubles have you had with the law?
So like, alright, so in my 20s, I had a lot of alcohol related charges. You know, a lot of like, I got 3 DUIs in my 20s. I got a few drunken disorderlies, drunk in publics. I had a lot of run-ins with the law because I lived at like this fucking drunk, like a trap house, party house that like we always had altercations with the law. Like my house got shot up twice. My friend got shot in front of my house.
Did he survive?
No. That shit fucked me up too.
What was the emotions and feelings after that?
Honestly, at the time, I just kept doing my best to push forward, you know, like
How close was this friend?
He was pretty close. He was a friend from middle school.
And obviously having troubles like building friendships and relationships and such, getting close to somebody, and having lost that person, I could feel how it affected you.
It was a fucked up situation because it was like I was drunk and I was fucking. It was at my house and like this dude stole a PlayStation 2 at the time.
He stole your PlayStation?
Yeah, the guy who ended up shooting our house up.
Yeah.
Shooting him. And I got the dude's number and I got on the phone and called the dude up and started talking shit. He's like, if you're gonna run your mouth, I'm gonna come back. And I'm like, good, motherfucker, like come back. And then he came back and fucking did a drive-by and like we were down in the front yard and fucking he just hit my friend in the head, man. Like,
did you feel responsible for that?
yeah, I did. I mean, my friend, for a long time I did. My friend was egging me on. I'm not the one who pulled the trigger. Like, I don't know why it's a fucked up situation, man. Like, but I felt responsible for it. Like, because usually I'm not a fucking person that, like, I'm not a violent person. I don't talk shit to people. But when I'm drunk on, like, you know, uppers, I just let shit build up and I'll just fucking just talk shit. And I can be pretty mean when I talk shit. Like, it was a fucked up situation.
Safe to say that substances have us act outside of our character.
All the fucking time, dude. Like, it has me treating people I'm in relationships with the way I would never treat them normally, you know? Like, I get, especially when I'm backed in a corner or kind of a lie or some shit. And, like, I've always had a need to be right. So, like, that just comes out as fucking, like, just pure anger and rage. Or if I feel like they're doing something against me, whether they are or they aren't, like, I'll just lash out, like, and do it repeatedly. Which is crazy because I'm not an angry person, I mean. But, like, I don't know how to put this.
You're not an angry person. Do you feel like you carry anger inside of you, though? What are the feelings you carry?
I do carry anger, but not so much with other people anymore. And I never really did. Like, it was always like, when shit would get pointed out to me about myself, and it was shit that I didn't want to hear, that's when I would get angry, because I'm angry at myself, you know, like, I carry anger with myself, hatred for myself, guilt and shame over, like, how I've lived my life, where my life is today, like, the potential I had that I feel like, I don't want to say wasted, because I still have time, but, like, I've wasted a lot of my life. And I've emotionally hurt a lot of people and physically hurt a few people.
So jump into the present.
Yeah.
What made you seek recovery this time?
When I got arrested this last time and the door got fucking kicked in,
Why'd the door get kicked
Oh
in?
yeah, criminal history. We were talking about that. So I haven't worked in about 8 years. I've been robbing and stealing from people, doing shit like I really don't have any business doing. But I lost all. I just had no fucking fucks to give. I just didn't care.
You lost everything,
like morally, yeah.
Morally and materialistically.
Yeah, I just stopped caring. Like, I mean.
So you robbing and stealing to support a habit.
Yeah.
Maintain a lifestyle.
Yeah. So like, all the charges in my 30s have been related to that. Like, I got picked up in my 20s for shoplifting twice, which retail theft wasn't a crime. Or organized retail theft wasn't a crime yet. So it was just 2 shoplifting charges. But there's something I've always done was boost. Going back to my early 20s.
What is boosting?
It is grabbing a large amount of items from the store.
And what would you do with these items?
I would sell them online or trade them for drugs straight up. Ours would be alcohol. I'd always still. There's times when I would just steal lots and lots of alcohol. You know, still like, especially when I was drinking, or like I knew some dealers that would accept bottles for G. Or sometimes I would just do it if I'm fucking bored. You know, like I don't know. That shit's a bad addiction in itself.
What is it, like adrenaline or?
Yeah, it's adrenaline. It's like I don't need to pay for anything. I can have anything I want. You know, I like it's all gone now. Like the last time I got arrested, it all got clucked off. But I had a lot of stuff. You know, I had a lot of nice clothes, a lot of electronics, like. But none of it was mine, so like I mean, easy come, easy go. But
easy come, easy go.
Yeah. But I got arrested a few times in my 30s for breaking into cars. Thank God I never got arrested for breaking into houses, but that was a common thing too. So yeah, this last time I had a felony warrant because I was out on pre-trial. The exact specifics of how it happened, I don't know, but me and a friend were both arrested at the department. We both have felony warrants.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't. I was living in a trap house. I don't know why the cops showed up. Like I have an idea they're there for something else, but I don't know why they entered the apartment.
Oh, and you were there. They ran your name. You got locked up.
They called my name out, yeah, from outside.
Mm.
So someone obviously told my name. Like I don't really care to look into the matter because I'm just trying to like. In the end, it was a good thing.
Right. Know? It's crazy how sometimes getting locked up and having to sit down for a little bit is very beneficial to our life.
Yeah, it's crazy because like for the first like week and a half, you know, even after I was done detoxing, I just wanted to get the fuck out to go get high. But then sitting there for a few more weeks and shit, jail population review came up and they decided to let me out. They offered me housing through El Pueblo, but like the only other time I had some amount of sobriety was a combination of being on probation and long-term treatment.
Right.
So I asked to come back here.
You asked to come into
recovery. Instead of getting the housing, I asked to come back to this program because I knew I'd end up on probation again, and that I felt like the combination and then going into a sober living after this is what I need. Like, I mean, I need to just do anything that will help me do anything that'll give me a chance to fucking have a recovery, to be able to live a life with some amount of happiness and like be comfortable with myself and like all these things that like. Not all these things. I mean, I really don't want that much out of life, you know. I just want to be comfortable with myself. I want to have some level of happiness. Like, that's really all I want. Like, material things don't mean anything to me. Having lots of money don't mean anything to me. You know, that's just what I want, man. Those two things. And you wouldn't think it'd be so difficult, but it's difficult, man.
So what are some of the things you do today to try to, I guess, like center your peace or make you comfortable, make life tolerable? What are some of your coping skills?
So the two biggest ones are like allowing myself to actually talk to people and have real conversations with them. I'm learning that I can care about people again. Like I just haven't cared for myself or for other people for so long that like having genuine conversations and being able to just sit around a table and bullshit with people for a couple hours is amazing for me. Like that's something I used to love to do when I drank, you know, but like take away the drinking and it's still just as fun. I laugh just as much. It's really therapeutic for me. And the second thing, I mean, besides the actual like groups, NA meetings, which are very helpful. Meditation's been huge for me, like these last couple months, 3 months starting that.
Right.
For some reason, I can hear information all day long, but until I sit down, shut my mind down, will I understand it and like accept it, and then be able to work on applying it.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's cool. So I just heard you say what you want out of life.
Yeah.
So moving forward, what are your plans? Like, what do you see yourself doing? What do you want to do?
Alright, so that's like the $1 million question, man. I don't know.
And it's okay not to know.
Yeah, I don't. I've been devoid of purpose so long in my life, except for getting fucked up, that like I don't really have one right now, except get work on my recovery, get some mental health going. I would like to finish college. I'm very close. It's actually funny. When I broke up with my one girlfriend when I was like 31, 32, I decided to go back to school. So I got my FAFSA grant. Went to school. I did very well for a year. I got all A's and 1B. It was all online.
What were you going to school for?
Public administration. Like bureaucrat work, government work, which I couldn't get because I had felonies, but like I said earlier, I have a need to be right. And I was getting, and because of my felonies, I was getting like dishwashing jobs and like line cook jobs instead. I used to be a manager at restaurants, and I was getting tired of taking shit from people. So like, in my head at the time, because I was doing a lot of heroin and G at the time, that if I had a degree, then I could, in my own head, be like, you don't know shit. I'm a college graduate. Was my plan.
Right.
This was a degree I couldn't do anything with. But that being said, I'm like 16 credits away from getting this degree. So I figure if I could switch it up to something I'm more interested in, or if I get my life right, I can start getting felonies expunged and like.
Right.
But I'm thinking about getting like maybe a history degree. I'm always fascinated in history. Political science is big for me. Those are my two biggest topics of interest.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Just an observation. I think you would actually. It's cliche. Everybody wants to go to a recovery and become peer-to-peer support specialist or whatnot. But I actually think, with your story and just with your lived experience, you would actually do pretty well in this field.
I want to kind of. I don't know, like in my head right now, that would be too stressful. But like, I think if I keep progressing the way I am, because I feel like I've come a long way since I came here,
right,
almost 5 months ago. The first month that I was here, I didn't talk to anyone. I isolated, which I always tend to do. Started coming out of my shell when I came over to the IOP program, and like, I think as I get more comfortable with myself, I can get more comfortable with the idea of like, not just like being comfortable with people, but with the program itself, and like that my knowledge might mean something, because I struggle with that a lot, with like whether my feelings matter or like anything anyone does matters. Like, I guess it's more of a philosophical thing to get into, but like,
right.
I don't know, I won't get into it.
Cool, man. So we getting towards the end of this.
Yeah.
What I've been having people do is leave yourself some positive affirmations, some positive energy, a good kick in the ass. Should you ever need an uplifting, you can hear it from your mouth specifically. So go ahead, take whatever amount of time you need to leave yourself something positive here for the future.
That's a good one. Let's see here. All right. Hey, buddy. You're looking good. I hope you're feeling good. I already know you're looking good. You're never not gonna not look good. You gotta remember, man, you're intelligent, you're capable, you have unlimited potential. You bring joy to a lot of people. You're funny. You're charismatic. Whatever we're doing in the future, if we're staying clean and we're, giving back what was so freely given to us, as they say, we're gonna be all right, man. I believe in myself today, and I know you're gonna believe yourself in the future. So whatever we're doing, I know we're gonna be killing it, and I love you, buddy.
Solid.
Solid. Yeah.
Fucking solid.
Hell yeah.
I always say too that we're in no position to give advice to anybody, but do you have any advice for those who may be struggling with some of the same experiences you have gone through? Any words of encouragement or tips to get through the bullshit?
Yeah, my number one piece of advice would be there's no shame in asking for help. The younger the better. I know it's hard sometimes to ask for that help or to admit when things happen to you, but it's so important, especially when you're young, to try your best to process it while you're still young. Understand who you are. Don't deny any part of yourself. Like, don't let hatred for yourself build up so much that you start hating the world.
Facts.
You know, because that is just going to be destructive for everything around you, including yourself. Like, don't. It's hard to like notice when you're going down a dark path, but like you do notice it, and you gotta do your best to get ahead of it, man. Like, I feel like finally I'm starting to like do something about all these problems I've created in my life are that things that happened to me in my life, and like I wish I would have just done them years earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I know it's hard as an adolescent to kind of figure things out and realize what's gonna happen to you, but like, just know though, like, you can get through it. You know, any guilt, shame, anger, resentments you hold on to, I mean, that's poison to yourself. Like, you gotta be able to get that out. And I don't know, smile, I guess. You know?
Smile, bro.
Yeah.
Smile and laugh.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Man, Cory, I appreciate you. I appreciate you and love you, bro, for being vulnerable and just sharing your experience, letting us know where you came from, where you're at, and where you want to go. Man, thank you, sir.
I love you, man. Thank you for the opportunity. This was good.
You got anything else you want to say at all?
Subscribe.
Hey. Yes, sir. It's your boy, the Big Head Dude. It's another one down. You heard him. Subscribe. If you're watching this and you haven't hit that subscribe button, man, it's something so simple to do. Hit that subscribe button for me real quick. I'll take a minute so you could do that. Alright, you did it? Double check. Alright, cool. I appreciate you. Thank you for subscribing. Make sure you like the video, comment on the video, hit that notification bell. And besides that, man, we out of here. Ooh, there it is.